Hello, hello guys and dolls, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a review for the please don't be broken. Well, now we know it can survive a fall. Today I'm going to be reviewing for you the NARS Narcissist Dual Intensity Eyeshadow Palette. I am so excited about this. I love the dual intensity eyeshadows, and so many of the colors that I wanted in the individuals were in this palette, so I decided, oh my god, I need this palette. This actually came out on New Year's Day on the NARS website and at NARS Boutiques. It will be coming out later this month or early February for Sephora stores. So if you want to get your points for this, you do have to wait a little bit, but I could not wait. I absolutely had to have this palette. I was so excited about it. Let's go ahead and open it up and explore. You have a big mirror. I think that, yeah, this is like a plastic thing on it. Oh, well, I guess we'll get rid of that. You have the beautiful 8 eyeshadows in this palette. Huh. Can we talk about it? I mean, this is a really, really good layout. It's inviting. You can immediately start thinking of things to do with it. It has a nice mix of, you know, poppy colors, some lighter colors, some darker colors. So it really has a lot that you can do with it. You can do warm and cool looks. You can mix it up. Now, when you first get this palette, they have a beautiful overlay. You can almost see just like the faintest little bit of it left over. You can see the colors that I really like, that I've used a lot. You really can't see it anymore because it does wear away rather quickly. So if you really love that pattern, take lots of photos of it before you mess with it. The NARS Dual Intensity eyeshadows are an eyeshadow formula that can be applied both dry or wet. So when you apply them dry, you're going to get a little bit less color impact, but they blend really super easy when they're dry. And I don't think that they have like crappy color impact when they're dry either. You do definitely get color out of them. But when you apply them wet, you get maximum color intensity. And what's interesting about this is that they don't develop a crust. Like sometimes, it sounds so gross, but sometimes when you use an eyeshadow wet, it'll like get hard and like ruined in that spot, and then you can only ever use it wet there. I've used all of these wet all over them, and then also was able to use them dry afterwards, and they work fine. That was maybe a bad example because that one's a light color that you can't see anyway. But see, I used this one wet just a couple minutes ago, and it's nice and dry again. There's no yucky crust on it. It's so good. One thing I find really helpful with this is if you're, for instance, putting a color on the lid and you want like that maximum color intensity, you can pack it on wet and then around the outer edge use it dry to blur it out. Perfect every single time. The one thing I did notice though is that you need to find the right balance of wetness. If you have your brush too wet, it's going to actually make the eyeshadow sheer out because there's too much moisture there. After playing around with this for about a week and trying different mixing mediums and methods of application and everything, I found that the MAC Fix Plus is my favorite mixing medium for this. So I've had this now for about a week and I've been playing around with it and testing it out because it's a new eyeshadow formula, and I did have one other before I bought this palette. This is Cassiopeia, I think is how you pronounce it, and it's sort of like the palest baby, not even baby pink, it's like white pink with a violet duochrome and a little bit of sparkle in it. I mean, it's really kind of it. Because this one is such a light color, I didn't really see, you know, how it would work with darker colors and how it would blend and things like that. And I did have a tiny bit of a learning curve with these. I think because they're all shiny, and typically when I'm doing a look, I like to mix up the textures. I like to mix up the textures is what I like to do there. I think that when you use them dry, they're a little bit less shimmery, and when you use them wet, they're more metallic. What's great is that you have that mix of textures, you have the mix of intensity. It's a really great eyeshadow formula. I'm really excited about it, and there's a couple more that I like that aren't in this palette that I think I'm gonna have to pick up, even though they're kind of ungodly expensive. I believe they're $28 or $29 by themselves in a single. This palette is $79 for 8, although they are smaller sizes, you do get more colors. One more thing to mention before we start talking about the individual shades is that this thing holds fingerprints like holy crap. Like the front of it is mirrored. I've also been, you know, touching the mirror, which most people probably wouldn't do because most people don't hold their eyeshadow palettes up like this, but you can see it's kind of looking a little sorry about it. All of the eyeshadows in this palette are named after Greek gods and goddesses, which is so exciting for me. I'm such a Greek mythology just nerd, and I love it. The first eyeshadow in this palette is Europa, and I love this eyeshadow. It's a beautiful peachy pink, such a beautiful one-stop shop. Just put it on the lid for those days you have like no time to do eyeshadow. Put that on the lid and at least you've got a little something going on. The thing I really love about this eyeshadow is it has like a lit from within type of look to it. It is so gorgeous. You see, I'm like, just as a fun fact about me personally, I absolutely love the song Europa by Santana. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. I just love Santana in general, but when that song comes on, when I've got my, got my Santana going on and that song comes on, I'm like, hold up, nobody talk to me. I just gotta sit here and listen to this. Yeah. The next eyeshadow in this palette is called Andromeda, and Andromeda is a very, very pale vanilla pink type of color. In fact, to me, it's a cross between MAC's Opal Pigment and Vanilla Pigment. It has a little bit of a gold flash, it has a little bit of a pink flash. Really great color, great for highlighting, great for, I even use it on my cheeks today. It's really a gorgeous color. The next one in this palette is Himalaya, which is a warm gold, kind of like a bronzy gold. I really love this color. It's got a bit of a brown richness undertone to it and a bright gold flash. Fabulous color, just such a good one. Again, another great one-stop shop. Just put it all over the lid and you're done. The next one in this palette is Lascithia. Lascithia is a silver that almost has like a green hint to it. It's very interesting. I don't have a lot of silvers that have a green undertone, so I thought that this one was really special and just a gorgeous color. So fun. I can't wait to actually use that one. I haven't used it yet. Well, I mean, I've swatched it and played with it a little bit, but like, and a look, you know. Next color in this palette is Ursa Major, and Ursa Major is that rare brown that's just perfect. It goes perfectly with warm colors, goes perfectly with cool colors. It's just balanced, it blends beautifully, it's so good. Unfortunately, it is exclusive to this palette, although it's the only color that's exclusive to this palette. So if you like any of these other ones and you don't feel like getting the whole palette, you can just buy them singly, except for Ursa Major. Sorry about it. Next color in this palette is Giove, and I love Giove. It is a bright deep navy. It's like a dark navy that has a brighter lit within kind of glow to it. If you want to get something that's a lot less expensive, there are dupes of this at the drugstore from Wet n Wild. If you wanted to get something that was like kind of medium high end, you could get something like MAC's Deep Truth eyeshadow. I do think that Giove has a little something special because I have a lot, a lot of those, dupes for it and everything. And so for me to have so many, versions of that type of color and still think that this one is exceptional kind of says something. It has a depth to it that a lot of those ones don't have, and it also has almost a violet flash to it. It's really, really beautiful. One of the reasons why I wanted to use it in my first look. And I will have a tutorial for this look coming up very soon, don't worry guys. Next color in the palette is called Subra or S-U-B-R-A. Subra. I'm gonna go with Subra. It's a very, very dark, it's not quite burgundy. I would say it's like a red purple. It's, oh god, it's so good. Or like a brown purple. Sure. It looks like this. Just it's a really great, rich, sophisticated kind of eyeshadow. Like this is like sexual grown-ass woman eyeshadow to me. Grown-ass woman. Yeah, that sounds sophisticated. The final eyeshadow on this palette, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. It's S-Y-C-O-R-A-X. So Sakura? Sure. I'm not really sure how to pronounce this. It is a soft black. I wouldn't call this quite a gray because it's really more black than gray is, but it's not a rich black either. So if you love rich black, this one isn't for you. I kind of like it because sometimes when I'm doing a look, like I even used it today, I don't want like full Monty black. I don't want it to get quite that dark, but I need to add a little bit of darkness to a look. So a soft black can be nice. Some people don't like them. Some people feel like they're getting ripped off and it's not like a full black. I think that NARS is a company that knows what they're doing, and I think that they wouldn't have done, a sheer black on accident. They did a light black on purpose. The final component of this palette, it comes with a brush. I almost never like brushes that come with palettes. If I'm being completely honest, I usually just toss them away. This one is really quite good, and it's actually exceptional at applying the eyeshadows wet, so I definitely recommend using this brush if you get the palette. Just round up here at the end, this palette is $79 for 8 grams of product. Each eyeshadow is 1 gram, so $79 for 8 grams of product, versus the individual eyeshadows, which are I think $28 or $29 for 1.5 grams of product. I use the NARS eyeshadow primer with this all the times that I tested out, except for today I used a concealer as my base for my eyeshadows. I actually like the concealer better, so that was kind of cool. I used the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer as my base today, and I think that it might be my favorite thing to use with these as a eyeshadow base. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about in this review. I really love this palette. I definitely think that it's one that's completely worth picking up, and it's something that's exceptional. It's something that is different. In terms of the eyeshadows, I know a lot of people are going to ask, are they similar to the Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows? Are they similar to the ColourPop eyeshadows? That would be a no and a no. Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows are super, super metallic and almost like feel like cream, whereas this definitely feels like an eyeshadow. ColourPop eyeshadows feel like almost like a moussey wet kind of thing. We'll talk about those more another time because a review for those is coming, but because it's kind of a unique product, I want more time. But anyway, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. If there's something that I forgot to mention, please leave me a comment in the comment section down below and I will try my best to respond. Also, I want to say how much I appreciate it when you guys respond to each other's comments. I think that's wonderful. Like sometimes people will comment and they'll be like, I'm not Cora, I hope it's okay if I respond. Dude, it's totally okay. I absolutely love that. So I think that's pretty much it. And one more final thing before I let you go, I want to ask you guys to tell me which video you want to see next. So I've already recorded a tutorial for this look. I'm also going to have my 2014 favorites filmed tonight. So let me know which video you guys want me to edit first, but both are coming. They're both, you know, they're both in the works. Just let me know which one you want to see first. All right, that's it. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Remember to make good choices. Just be yourself. See you. Bye. Bye 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 bye.